No, honestly, that game, once he had the 10 strikeouts and had the 2 home runs, I already thought that. Like, I was already... Plus, if you saw that, I believe it was the first home run off the roof and out of the park.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's hitting them out of the ballpark.
Monstrous. Yeah. First of all, who throws 3 pitches that someone... like that Ohtani can possibly do that in a if we lose we get swept situation.
Yeah, because they were like in the inner half to the lefty. They were like inner half.
Like, come on, like you just don't give him anything. You give him the judge.
Listen, he's Babe Ruth, right? He's Babe Ruth.
I understand bases loaded. I understand other situations, like maybe if he's got nobody on, that is kind of scenario where, but you never go after him. You just hope you put him on base.
Well, he hit a leadoff home run. He was. Okay. Let me read you the quick.
I get that.
He hit a leadoff home run, so leading off the game, okay. But he does that a lot. He does that a lot. And Ohtani, he has. They listed 13 things that maybe this is the greatest game in the history of baseball ever, and like it really might be. He's the first player to hit a lead off the bottom of the first inning with a home run, becoming the first pitcher to hit a leadoff home run in any MLB game. Okay, Ohtani went on to hit another home run in the 4th inning. He became the first pitcher with multiple home runs in a postseason game. He's got 6+ scoreless innings, allowing 2 hits and striking out 10 batters and hitting 3 home runs. I mean, it's Reggie Jackson's game. But it's also like the greatest pitching game performance you've ever seen. He's Babe Ruth, and he's better than Babe Ruth. Like, he's not going to hit 700 home runs because he's not really around for it. He's not going to be around, right? How old is Ohtani?
I think he's like 29 or 30.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit so he's not getting 700 because he had a career over in Japan.
No, right, but not as long as like some of those other ones where it was like Ichiro was already there for an entire career by the time he came over, whereas Ohtani was, just really on the rise and making his thing. So, but you're right, it is the greatest thing since Babe Ruth. You'll never be able to compare anybody to Babe Ruth because he was outclassing everybody that wasn't even like touching it, whereas Ohtani is just doing the thing that a lot of people, and there's a lot of guys who I truly believe would be able to be that type of player in terms of being able to pitch and being able to hit. Neither one could probably do either one well, let alone do one well, like real well. And
because I don't think Babe Ruth was this type of pitcher.
No, he was, but and that's why I say let's not compare it because the hitters he were facing, it was like me or you. But we decided we'd try baseball instead. They weren't quite the same in that level. Babe Ruth wasn't. The greats were great, but the average player wasn't, the same. So it's hard to compare because Babe Ruth is a god that created something that said it was possible. But I think Ohtani's doing the same thing and showing this whole new generation that if you can do both. And the Mets actually have a guy who's just did this recently. He converted from being both to being specifically a pitcher last year, and that's Nolan McLean. Not a great average hitter, hit a lot of bombs. Yeah,
I mean, you're talking this guy's MVPs, though. This guy's MVP without being a pitcher.
No. That's what I kind of mean is I don't know if anybody will be able to dominate it both, and just over and over, and post surgeries too, pre-surgery, post-surgery.
He's not even and I hate to even say it like this, but he's not even an American. Like Babe Ruth is now being knocked off the pedestal by this guy from Japan coming over playing our game, and he's the greatest thing ever. I mean, I didn't believe when I had Tim Brown on the show, the national baseball writer and stuff, and he said to me that. I asked him straight up, is Shohei Ohtani better than Babe Ruth? He said, Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player in history. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. And he is. Yes. He is. Like, it is. Like, it's out of control now.
But that's almost like saying to me, it's like, can a player be better than Michael Jordan? Yes. But nobody will ever eclipse Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's not Babe Ruth because Babe Ruth is now like folklore, and it happened 100 years ago.
Like you can be better. It evolves. The sport evolves.
He is better. He's better. Listen, if Babe Ruth was playing, he might not even be in the big leagues.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean that you can eclipse something that someone has done that's so legendary from a time that it's not even in someone's brain that it could be done. If it's never been done before to hit that many home runs, like Babe Ruth is still at a point showing up and just. Like, it's never been done, but watch, this is possible. And that's
the Babe Ruth people will bring up the fact that he hit more home runs than any team in the league. So
you can never ever compare their postseason stats, because you know why what happened with Babe Ruth? He went directly to the World Series, and they were so good that they swept the teams half the time.
Yeah,
so
well, they went directly to the World Series until the 70s. In the 70s,
he has postseasons that were consisted of 4 games, and they won the World Series. So it's very different when it comes to if he had more availability. Imagine what he would have done in those other scenarios.
Babe Ruth wouldn't make the team this year. Like the way he was, Babe Ruth. You just fast forward him into the future. He wouldn't make the team.
You put him on like you put Tiger Woods on the Ryder Cup. Like you're like, we're gonna do it anyway.
Well, because you can sell tickets and stuff.
Yeah. You know it's gonna hurt you, but you gotta have the Babe.
Does Babe Ruth hit like 150?
And Ohtani's the one who made the pick. It's like a nod. Like yes.
Does Babe Ruth hit 150? Like in today's game?
No. I honestly think
he'd probably be all right.
It's so funny. If you just said dropped him in a time capsule in the batter's box,
he plays with his bat and everything. He wants to play with his bat.
It's a different thing. That he would never survive 5 minutes just because it wouldn't exist. But if you gave that guy if he
gave him a year to get together, get his stuff together.
Yeah, just the Earth in general, like the 2025 in general at first, and then baseball. Like I think you'd have a shot.
If you dropped him in there, he'd hit 150. He'd be in like an 0 for 30 slump right off the bat.
No, it's Babe Ruth right away. The drugs and alcohol we have today, the availability, all the things that were illegal are legal now. What do you think he'd be like? He wouldn't make it to the ballpark day one.
No, he'd be like what's his name? The guy from the Texas Rangers that wasn't allowed to carry any cash and
Oh, Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton. He'd be like Josh Hamilton, who just dropped off the face of the earth. It was like 1 MVP. I'd
be a little more concerned that he turns into like a Tyler Skaggs, but that's
Yeah, I mean, he was alcoholic, but they were alcoholics that could when they're 25. If you put prime Babe Ruth in 2025, does he hit 25 home runs?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
I say no. Let's move
that up.
Were they throwing it 100 miles an hour?
How about, what happens with Mickey Mantle? You think it's that different?
I think Mickey Mantle will probably hit. Mickey Mantle would be good. He might not win batting titles.
He wouldn't be that different. Like, hitters would be hitters. Like, if you put Nolan Ryan anywhere, he's good.
50 years after Babe Ruth. Like, Babe Ruth was in the 20s.
Yeah. But, you turned around, and I did this. Oh, so funny. I did this comparison when it came to the Parks. But, same thing. If you put Mickey Mantle in Babe Ruth's era, how many home runs does he hit? Who hits more home runs that year?
Mickey Mantle, I think. What if you put Pete Alonso on the 27 on the Brooklyn Dodgers, right? I think he hits 65 home runs.
I think you're right. But
I think so.
No, but what you're missing, Bob, is he's also going to get hit in the head 12 times and probably killed.
Yeah, he might, and they'll be like, "What?
No,
what's
it's
this
a
helmet
different
this
world.
guy's wearing?"
It's a different world, and so that's the tough part is half the time it's because you might get killed in that box, and nobody can. It was a different. I'm telling you, it was a different era. So you're taking only to adjust. You're telling me I don't know. I wish I could really see what a game was like.
Yeah,
back then.
We
don't have video.
You don't really know. You don't really know.
I'd love to know what the actual what players were like to the ump. I'd love to see the real footage of what, and I know they have some of it, but there's no audio, and there's no real background to it.
They do have games that you can watch the game, but it's not good footage. To me, and I don't know, I could be way off on this. To me, I think if you start Cy Young tomorrow, he doesn't get out of the third inning, and he gives up 6 runs.
I think if they should get the analytics, how they can no, but Bob, you can compare now. If you just take the footage of how fast was that fastball, how hard did that break? What's the comparison of
that's
how
what I'm
good
saying.
Were these guys?
Were they throwing that fast?
I'd love to see they should really be comparing but even how fast Babe Ruth's swing is, and would it be able to compete in today?
They should be able to do that.
Yeah, but how slow were these guys throwing? Was Babe Ruth how many of his home runs were hit off a 58 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour fastball?
I can throw 50, but how many? And also they pitched Ferguson Jenkins pitched 25 complete games, right? The human body has not changed in 100 years.
The best. Bob, that's the best scenario.
In 50 years, the human body has not changed, right? It's the same thing. It's the same ligaments, everything. He's throwing 20. There's no way he's throwing 100 miles an hour at 27 straight complete games.
I think that would be the best people to bring up is the rubber arms from previous generations and dropping them. What would they be like in today's
They'd be
society?
like Max Scherzer when they come to pick him out, take him out of the game in the third inning. And where was that?
Yeah.
By the way, Max Scherzer, where the hell was that 2 years ago when I'm sitting in the upper deck at Citi Field and he's giving up 7 runs and the third inning on my $150 tickets, I'm perusing the team store. Pissed me off. We'll get to that in a minute. But as far as this series goes, listen, I was disappointed in Milwaukee, right? They didn't get anything going. They scored no runs.
The Babe Ruth 27 series?
Yeah,
the Babe Ruth 27 series?
The Babe Ruth against the Milwaukee Brewers.
The
pitching was just as good as anything for the Dodgers.
Bob, do you know how uncompetitive this series was? At the end of it, they win. The Dodgers barely even slapped 5 at the end. They didn't even do anything. They were just like, cool. Thanks.
The Dodgers are so good. They have guys who are superstars in the minor leagues, and then they're like, we'll bring you out. You go down there and figure it out. We'll bring you up in the postseason.
Yeah. No, they had – I watched their interviews after the games in Mookie, and they didn't care. They weren't even like – they were not even concerned. They are built for the postseason. They didn't even win the division. This team is just nuts. And if Ohtani can go and put performances and forget about the home runs, just pitches like that, they're going to be very hard to beat if you get in 2 of those in a World Series.